Welcome down the rabbit hole. Events surrounding the death of Caylee Anthony have been debated by experts since the 2011 trial of her mother, Casey Anthony. In the infamous trial, Casey was shockingly acquitted of charges of the first-degree murder of her daughter.
I believe your daughter knows what happened.
Yes, I believe 100%.
For 31 days, she didn't report her daughter missing.
I'm done.
Okay, what is the 3-year-old's name? Caylee. C-A-Y-L-E-E.
The jury find the defendant not guilty.
To sit here and listen to her keep making different stories as it fits.
Did you knowingly conceal Caylee's whereabouts?
And I really try to live my life in a way that I try.
Caylee Anthony was reported missing on July 15, 2008 by her grandmother, Cindy Anthony, who placed a frantic call to 911 saying, "I found out my granddaughter has been taken. She's been missing for a month."
I just wanted to go over the 31 days that her daughter Caylee was missing and what she was doing. June 16th, it's the last day that George Anthony saw Caylee alive. Caylee and Casey left the home and said they were going to stay the night at the nanny's house. However, later that day, her and her boyfriend Tony were seen at a Blockbuster. Caylee was not there, and Tony testified that Casey acted completely normal the entire time. The entire time, as in when he saw her at Blockbuster and when she stayed with him. He used the phrase that she was having a grand old time. On June 18th, Casey borrows a shovel, claiming that she needs to dig up bamboo roots in the backyard. The person she borrowed it from said that everything seemed normal and it was returned in normal condition. On June 20th, she joins this hot body contest and she partied several times, but she claims it was because she was promoting, so she was at work. On June 23rd, Casey runs out of gas in this vehicle and she calls Tony for help. Tony comes and she tells him to break into George and Cindy's shed to get out gas cans so she can fill her tank up. He gets the cans, brings them to her, and she insists on pouring the gas in herself. On June 27th, Casey runs out of gas again, but this time she leaves the car at an Amscot parking lot.
Casey Anthony initially told investigators her daughter had vanished after she left her with a nanny named Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez, who had also vanished. But Casey's attorney, Jose Baez, admitted Zenaida was a fictional person during Casey's trial and blamed the death of Caylee Anthony on her grandfather, Casey's father.
Woman in America. She was public enemy number one. She was seen as a narcissistic, evil woman.
What do you think my question is going to be?
Why did I wait 31 days to call 911?
Something wrong. I found my daughter's car today, and it smells like there's been a dead body in the damn car.
Caylee had been missing for 4 months before the 2-year-old's body was found in a blanket inside of a trash bag in a wooded area, not far from the Anthony family home in Orlando, Florida. Since her release from jail in 2011, Casey Anthony has continued to live a life of little to no responsibilities.
I'm okay with my shit about what anybody thinks about me. I don't care about that. Yeah. I never will. I'm okay with myself. I sleep pretty good at night.
5.
Caylee would be 12 this year.
What would she be like right now?
I told that. I would like to think she'd be listening to classic rock and playing sports and not taking from anybody.
Living and quote-unquote working for her former attorney and private investigators, starting a photography business, and collecting money from interviews and documentaries. 2 years ago, I did a series in which I exposed the underground life of Casey Anthony, filled with toxic dating relationships, fights in bars, fake promoting at clubs, and odd jobs in offices around her local town.
Can I file an incident report? Sure, what happened? So I'm still wet.
I got a drink thrown at me. This girl has been harassing me for a while. I have her cell phone number. If that helps.
Do you know her name?
Her name is Thelma Moya. Thelma Magali Moya. She goes by Thelma Moya. Yeah.
Okay. And what happened?
She verbally assaulted me, but physically assaulted me with witnesses. I'm so damp from the drink she threw at me.
And why did she throw a drink at you?
We had a verbal altercation outside.
Outside over there?
Yeah.
And now, following the release of a documentary telling her side of the story 2 years ago, Tot mom Casey Anthony has been caught having an affair with a father of 2 since January of 2024. Reports are that the notorious partying Tot mom destroyed her man's 20-year marriage, leaving his wife blindsided. Reportedly, Anthony, 38, has been dating 48-year-old Tyson Ray Rhodes since January of 2024. Friends say that Anthony and Rhodes met through the gym where they both worked out in South Florida. They joined a group texting group with other gym members and soon began talking one-on-one, according to sources close to the situation. Anthony, who was accused and then acquitted of murdering 2-year-old Kaylee, has since uprooted her entire life, moved from Florida, and moved to Tennessee to be with her new boy toy. Now, Rhodes has 2 sons. They're both young adults, so they are over the age of 18, but he's leaving a 20-year marriage with his wife, who states that she had no idea this was coming. Anthony and Rhodes have been spotted out as recently as Wednesday outside her luxury apartment complex where she's been living since moving to Tennessee. Rhodes was carrying a set of golf clubs because doesn't every asshole who cheats on his wife play golf? After retreating inside, they left again, dressed in workout clothes, to head off to the gym. They climbed into his black Dodge Ram pickup truck and headed for a workout at Crunch Gym. Okay, so Anthony's friends are telling the Post in a recent article that Casey has said she doesn't care if he's married or not. She said that's his business. The friend reported that Casey says all she knows is that it makes her feel good and she likes that. She was willing to follow him to Tennessee and she sees a future with him. The friend asked Casey, don't you feel bad about this? He's a married man. Her friend says, I was like, Casey, a married guy? And she just laughed and said, oh, shut up. I'm living the life I want. Rhodes is an engineer for an aerospace company, and in my opinion, he should be fired for having this affair, and he's been married to his wife for 22 years. He and his wife, Sandy, moved from South Florida to Tennessee at the beginning of this year, but shortly after the move, Rhodes dropped a bombshell on the mother of his children when he told her he wanted a divorce after moving her all the way to Tennessee, and he moved Casey in down the street to a luxury apartment. Okay, sources say he has yet to file the paperwork, but family sources are telling everyone, including the Post, that the wife was completely blindsided by the news. Starting this past January, Rhodes and Anthony were spotted out at a local restaurant and bar together in Tennessee, so their relationship was already going strong. They were all smiles as they dined with 2 other couples, reportedly, in January. They were holding hands and kissing, and he even touched her butt, said an onlooker. So meanwhile, his wife thinks that they're together. They've just moved to a new state together and they've raised their children. It's time for them to spend time enjoying one another, probably helping their kids get through college. And she moved to another state for him. But he's out partying it up with Tot mom Casey Anthony. According to the onlookers at this restaurant, Casey got up to order a drink and they noticed that people were staring at her. So Rhodes made the comment loudly, "Bring that innocent ass over here." He didn't care, the onlooker commented. Okay, Allegedly, Anthony is still quote unquote working remotely as a researcher for a private investigator. This is code for she's still working for that guy she had a really weird and inappropriate relationship with, who worked on her case. There is something so slimy and sleazy about the team that got Anthony off from her murder charge, and how they have remained quote unquote friends and had a working relationship with her for over a decade. She does quote unquote photography for them. And some of these people have even provided her with living accommodations. There's a lot of speculation that Anthony has had sexual relationships with members of her team. Of course, they deny that. But Anthony has continued to work remotely for this private investigator, and that's how she was able to move into this luxury apartment down the street from this guy, Tyson Rhodes. Just the name Tyson Rhodes, something about that just doesn't sit right with me. Like he was always meant to cheat on his wife with Casey Anthony. According to people who live in the apartment community, his truck, Tyson's truck, has been seen repeatedly parked in the spot next to Casey's ridiculous Mini Cooper. Yeah, this girl has money. A family member of Tyson's told the Post that Tyson said Anthony has quote unquote an intoxicating aura around her, and that he's very attracted to her. All right, I have so much to say about all of this. I'm going to pull out my archive with all my Casey Anthony videos in which I talk about what she's been up to for the past 10 years, because it is ridiculous. We're talking about bar fights, acting like a selfish, spoiled baby all across town, breaking up other people's relationship, getting into physical altercations with women over ex-boyfriends, and that all needs to be looked at so that we can further dissect how Casey Anthony is living a life she doesn't deserve. It bothers me when people like Casey get away with the absolute shittiest things you can do in life. In this case, it's the worst of the worst. We all know that Casey had at least something to do with the death of her daughter, and she did not pay the price and live the consequence that she was meant to live for not taking her role as mother seriously. So please join me tomorrow as we dive deeper into what the hell is going on with Casey Anthony. Into what the hell is going on with the way the world treats Casey Anthony.